it's gonna be lonely, but I mean, someone got to do it. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I try to push a lot of things, but definitely like honesty, ownership, and as far as like where I want to go in my career, I mean, I want to go as big as the people will allow me to. You know what I mean? But I do feel like there's a greatness that I'm pushing for every day with my pen, with my music, with my ideas. So yeah. Sorry if that was long-winded. I apologize.
So Jade, um, you talked about like journalism and how it is fed to us and how we receive it in our like more common mass media and some of the issues or concerns that you have with that. And so as you now have your papers, uh, how is journalism going to change for you, or how have you changed journalism?
It's so like de facto talking about like ownership and accessibility. Like that was something that I thought about consistently throughout my time at UNC because journalism is not accessible to people. Journalism isn't accessible to the people that I care deeply about and I feel like will benefit the most from it. So like, you got those paywalls. You can't even go to the news. You can't even see the News and Observer if you got to pay. Like I don't even know what the subscription is, but the fact that there is one is it's crazy, and it's like people need to know what's going on, and like how do you know what's going on if you don't have access to those services? Um, and like thinking about like ownership, like even with this project here, like yeah, I am the person, like I look at journalism as this like vehicle, like I'm just the one that's driving, but I have to go pick somebody up, and that person has to like they have to say yes to me, and they have to like um I need the people to actually do this. And I think being in journalism school, like, it's like, no, we have authority and we are the ones that know how to do this. And so it's almost like even having this credential is kind of a joke, like, in some ways, because, like, the people that I want to be taken serious, like, they probably didn't graduate high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't
Yeah.
care about that stuff. And I'm like, however, to get the access to the resources that I want and get there a little quicker, or in just whatever way that I'm trying to get there, school is the route that I took. Um, but yeah, I've realized how much power is in journalism, and I'm like, I think that is, I want to play. I want to be a part of this game. And, but I also want to be very mindful and always think about what that power dynamic is, because these are people's stories. And even if it's just one person's story, like this is about Saquon, like this is about so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and so like I'm just constantly just really thinking about that, um, as I do this, and like how can I also be authentic to myself, because that like oof, I had a very lonely and isolating experience at this school, and I told them that, and I'm like, I'm on the Dean's Student Advisory Council, and I was like, this is why I joined it, because I like, as a black trans person, there were things that I was not thinking about till I got to the classrooms, and I'm like, oof, I'm just trying to be here and learn what everybody else is learning. However, I have to go to another building to go to the bathroom. So there's so much disruption in what it is just for me to get to it. And I'm just like, yeah, this isn't fair. And because, I don't know, I am who I am just like, I got my people who are going to hold me, and I'm gonna do this because I see there's something at the end that I'm after, and it's not just about me. So, and journalism is just that is the place that I just felt like, yeah, this is where I belong.
So can you tell us about this, about losing Saquon?
Okay. Well, how can I do this in a short way? Um, so if so I had this, I had to have this whole thesis proposal. I went into the program thinking that I was actually going to be talking about housing, because for some reason I love talking about things that I am closest to, and that's like one of the rules of journalism, that like you need to have some independence and you need to have like separation. And I'm like, I don't really know. I'm gonna have to figure that. It needs to mean something else for me, because my people, it's just not right. And in the way that I see things, I'm just like, I want to contribute. And so I was like, this year and a half, there's so many times that I did not want to be. I really was like, I'm leave. I'm leaving this program. Like, what am I doing? So I was thinking of like, what has this whole experience been about? It's how I don't fit into journalism, because I have to give up part of myself. I have to give up part of my identity, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, that's just not how I'm trying to live, and that's not how I'm trying to show up. And I think journalism, like, I feel like it could benefit from us actually not separating ourselves from people. And so as I was trying to, like, time was not on my side, and I was like, I have to, now I'm actually testing the waters and figuring out what it is, like, what are the principles of journalism that I am upholding, and like, whatever. So I did decide to do a story that I had a little bit of separation from. Like, I have not had any experience with incarceration. So even though I have had family members and I grew up in a neighborhood that's very similar to Saquon, I'm part of Durham Beyond Policing, and they had reached out to me a year ago to take photos of Letitia, and she just told me her story. And I was like, I got to come back to this. And like a year later, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was like, she is so willing and so open to share all of herself. And when I say, like, what I have up there is like a little, this is like a sliver of what the past few months has been about. But essentially, Saquon Faison, he was 28 years old when he was murdered on Holloway Street. And the circumstances around his death, his mental health played a part in it. And his mom had she had files, over 1,000, almost 1,000 documents from 2012 until 2021. So he was 16 when he got locked up and was 27 when he got out. And she said she just had all this stuff, and I was like, I don't know what the story is, because I just need to sit with these documents. And then I was looking at it, and I was just like, something about this just, like, I need to share what he was experiencing, and I chose the specific time period from when he was locked up. We're kind of starting to, and I'm a nonlinear storyteller, so as y'all saw, I start off with like at him, like start off with the clips of when he died, and then moved on to like trying to get these little glimpses. My idea with this was that so many of our people are affected by the carceral system, and especially in the neighborhoods that I grew up in these low-income neighborhoods, mental health was not talked about. And I'm not quite sure how much it is, to this day. And I'm just like, I want to bring that into this. Like, this is a very important thing to talk about. And because Letitia already had what I needed to kind of jumpstart this, and I kind of even had Durham Beyond Policing behind me as well, that I was like, this is a story. And then I just just was doing a bunch of research and then landed on like the intersection of mental health, how the carceral system is this has now become where they send people with mental health problems. Like, and it's like, you know, I'm a tell it on the mountain kind of person, and I'm like, yo, like, we need to talk about this. So this is just like a little bit of what can be bigger, because there's a lot to his story. There's a lot of questions that I have that I want to investigate. You know, journalism is a great field for like very nosy people, and I'm so nosy, and I'm like, I want the documents, and I want to ask y'all questions. I want to know what happened to him, and like this was a piece of what happened to him.
Thank you. So DeFacto, tell us about ketchup.
Ketchup. So, you know, sometimes people use it for hot dogs, fries. We decided to use it for everything. And yeah, so the record actually, I did the record back in August of 2021. And I knew it was like, well, back when I first made it, I knew it was weird. Like, I knew that from the jump. I knew it was really weird, but I felt really good about it, so I didn't want to, like, just stash it off to the side. And so for a year, like, it waited, and I was like, I need to do a video for this, but I can't think of anything. So, like, for a whole year, I'm, like, off and on. I'm going back and forth on, like, just what can really capture the energy of the song. And last summer, I was just out walking in the neighborhood, and I was like, ketchup on everything. Ketchup on everything. I just, ketchup on black women, ketchup on food, ketchup on me, ketchup on my hair. And it's just like honestly putting ketchup on all the things that I love, right? Top 5 that I'm always gonna love are black women. Top 5 what I'm always gonna love is food. Top 5 that I'm always gonna love is my hair, right? So it was like, let's be bold, let's be like super dynamic with it, and just really just take it there. I feel like a lot of people just gotten really comfortable in like their niches, and I have a thing about like people doing a good thing and then like milking that good thing for like 10, 20 years, as opposed to like trying to challenge themselves to do something even better than what they did before. So I always try to make it a goal of mine to do something that I just haven't already done. And with ketchup in particular, what's really exciting about it is that, like I said, from the ground up, it's fundamentally it's my idea. Even how like it was shot. Honestly, we originally was going to make it kind of like a film strip, right? So you have your big block in the middle, and then you know how you have your kind of like tiny like rectangular slits off to the either side. We was gonna do it like that, but then as we're editing it, I was like, okay, that might be a little bit too much on the eyes, you know what I'm saying? Just all that. So so as we're editing, I was like, yeah, this will be really dope, just to kind of right. And I don't know, I really wanted to be artful as well. I wanted to show that we can kind of combine all of these things, and it's not just weird, it's not just sexy, it's not just fun, but you know, at the core of it, it really is art, and it's just like an expression of like myself. I feel like when you watch it, you see in real time how my personality is, right? And I like that. I like being able, again, going back to being honest about yourself. I feel like in the past, I've kind of like compromised on things that I would put out visually for a slew of reasons, right? But this one was like, no, I'm gonna really, everything that I'm thinking of, I wanna sit naked and have a woman paint me like she's a famous painter with ketchup. And, you know, like, honestly, just expressing freedom, right? You know, just expressing freedom. And I think, you know, freedom of self, it just ultimately, hopefully, it leads to like a happier version of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So with that,
before you,
oh,
sorry, I just wanted just to like I appreciate how free you are, just because the world does not allow black boys to be free. So thank you, yeah.
Thank you.
And so I also wanted to ask you, because both of you have um, very personal and kind of like independent, non-conforming ideas of how you're going to practice within your craft. And so what is success? Because we have this idea of what success is for a journalist and for a rapper. But what is success for you, Jade?
Uh, I think success is being able to tell the stories that I want to tell. Um, what like telling the stories I want to tell and getting the resources that I need to tell those stories, I will feel like I've succeeded. In which I like I do not take for granted people's trust. And to tell a story like this, people have to trust you kind of fast, and people trust me fast. And I don't take that lightly. And Saquon's mother, she came to my defense, and her getting her approval, like that was like, I felt very happy and very proud of myself that she, even as like as a journalist, like you don't have people read what you write. They say what they say, and you get to use it however you want. And because I want people to believe in what it is that I do and the power of truth, that like I need people to trust me. So people trusting me is a huge success. And you know, the the summer of 2020, the George Floyd uprising, that's really what shifted things for me. Because that's when I was like for real out in the streets with my camera, and I just was like, yo, I am for the streets, and the streets are for me. And like, there's things that are happening, and we need to talk about it in the way that it should be talked about, and like given the breadth and the depth, and so if people get a different perspective of what is going on and bringing a different perspective to the conversations of change, like that is success for me.
Thank you.
Word up. Word up. Yeah, snap for that. Snap for that. Real quick before I answer that question, I want to go back just for a moment. Another big thing into why ketchup is ketchup and how I was able to execute it the way we were, half of it was with the editing. And, y'all have seen some of the same videos I've seen. Some of these editors' work don't be, what I'm saying? They don't really be like that. So I had a person in mind, the real Law, and I came to him with the idea, and he absolutely loved it. And we agreed to work together to make it come to life. So I just wanted to shout out the Real Law Medias, you know what I mean, for doing that, for editing and shooting. Deep peeing, you know what I'm saying? There you go. Well, you light skin, I still ain't see you, okay. But yeah, to answer your question though, success. I think success for me, in the purest form, is just peace of mind. If I can achieve peace of mind with what I'm doing, then I feel like I'm successful. And that'll be my one short answer for tonight.
I think that's a really, really good time for us to open up our discussion to questions from the audience. I can't see y'all, but maybe if you feel comfortable, we can come to the front, or I can bring the mic to you. Does anyone have any questions for our artists? Oh, come on. Well, can I ask a question? So we talked about it's not necessarily a question. It's one thing that really struck me in losing Saquon, and you talk, Jade, about the fact that our stories aren't told, and I just it broke my heart when Letitia was on the phone and the person was like, "Oh, I thought that I had spoken to you before because there was another person named Letitia and maybe had your like same last name, but I guess I didn't." But anyway, like just that exchange, I think spoke so heartbreakingly about like not only what her son was going through, but like her anonymity, like in the system. Um, and I guess that's just not a question, but a comment. And when you talk about all the other stories, and when you talk about Black women, you know, and like what it takes to advocate, and still, as a Black woman, to just still feel anonymous when you've been calling somebody and leaving messages every day. Like, how come they don't know me? You know?
When I decided to keep that part in it, it was hard for me because I'm like, I'm holding this rig, and I'm like, my mouth just dropped because I'm like, who else's name is spelt like that? And because she even says that, like, she's not even from Durham, you know, she's from, people in Durham don't spell their name like that. So it's like, you kind of pulled that from out your ass. And I just, like, it was, as a journalist, I had to keep, as the camera was rolling, I, like, kept my composure, but as soon as I stopped, I was like, all right. So then we like actually talked about it, and I was asking her questions, and it's just, and he told her that he would call her back the next day and tell her what was happening, and so as journalists, you know, we're supposed to get multiple sides and get the other side, and I, their voice, that was their voice, you know, like that I decided to use him saying what he said to her, because it's like, when generally when you do reach out to like to the mayor or the governors, like they have these prepared statements, and it's just it's all bullshit, and it's like, we need to get the real of how y'all actually interact with people and see people. And also with the records, I used that that's your authority, that's your voice. Like, if y'all, like, you can't clean this up. So I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to really emphasize this how this Blake Norman was gone for 3 months and didn't tell her, and there's so much more that they just are, and it's just a part of, it's a part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
So
Any questions or yes?
um, I would like to do more with losing Saquon, to like close it, and actually like really share it with people, because I don't, even though like for this it is, I have like, you know, because it's a rough cut, so I don't really want to share it. But when I'm done, I don't want to hold on to it, because um, it's not really mine, you know. But I want to package it in a way that really, uh, I don't know, translates well to people and just is impactful. But I would like to do a feature length, and maybe it's a docu-series. I'm aiming real high, but maybe it's a docu-series, because there are other stories that I want to tell within the carceral system that is connected to mental health. Like, um, I've been in communication with some Black trans women, and just being housed in a facility that doesn't align with your gender, and the violence that they are, like, what happens to them, and even trying to get access to that is so hard. And I just, like, the harder the access, the more I just want to push it, because it's like, our people are dying, and their spirits are like, they're just losing themselves in there, and so much is being taken from them, and it makes it hard for me to sleep at night. So I'm like, what does this looks like speaking to some more folks in the community and like actually asking them like, so how would y'all like to move with this? Like, what does this look like to move forward with this, and like, what do we need to kind of set this up? Because I think that there is something here, and people are really even responding well to just this very rough, rushed version. So yeah.
I think I saw another. Is there another comment or question for? I think I see a hand at the back.
Yeah, I think a lot, especially with this, one of the first things that I did think about was my own safety, because it's like, especially with incarceration, you start digging, like, it is real that retaliation happens, and not only on the journalists, but also the the sources, or the interviewees, and so I had to really think about what that, like, how much of myself do I put out there, because I do hold very strong opinions, and I'm like, how can I hold this balance of staying true to myself and being able to be a respected journalist that can hold multiple truths and have connections with people and share. But also, like, what does it mean? I had many conversations with my best friends about, like, I'm telling this story. I'm going to be, like, deep in what happened to him and his very traumatic experiences while incarcerated. And I need y'all, and I need some help trying to figure out what does care look like for myself. Because I'm like, I'm doing this work, but what good is this work if I'm not okay? So a lot of care. Actually, one of my deliverables for my thesis was a reporter's guide. Um, I think the title of it was like a reporter's reporting on the quote unquote American ghetto, um, and it was speaking to uh, one, how to talk about what's going on in your own neighborhoods, and also, if you're not from this neighborhood, how do you talk about what's going on? And one of those things was about self-care, like, and also knowing who you are, and being intentional, really all throughout the entire step. And I think, I don't know, in my experience with these classes that I've taken, like, there is no focus on you, like, really recognizing who you are. It's more of like, you might have we'll talk about it, but like, it's more so about what you are going to extract from people. And like, that is what I'm trying to move away from, like that that feeling of using people, and like, because we need people to say yes to us in order to tell a story. Like, I can't create without someone saying yes to me. So like really thinking about the interactions with the community and like not separating ourselves. So I hope that answered your question. So
Other questions? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yes. Oh, yeah, create. I haven't really created just to create. I've just been reading and like being studious and like there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm like to be so I feel so irrelevant right now because I am in school and I haven't been putting in work like creating work. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, Ade, you know, I've really been wanting to work with folks, and music videos is something that I've really been wanting to get into. So I like one thing to do by the end of the summer is to finally is to film a music video. So and you know hopefully Ade is that person. So
I think there was another, yes, and a yellow hat, I believe.
Okay. Um, as far as describing the sound, I feel like I'm an acclamation of everywhere and everyone that I've met, right? So like I speak really fast because I spent the first few years of my life in New Jersey, so that's kind of just like a habit I do, right? Me speaking fast kind of led to me rapping fast, so I like rapping fast too. But I also like rapping fast because one of the first albums I ever heard was Chicken and Beer by Ludacris, right? The second album that I heard after that was College Dropout, Kanye West. So these two albums really inspired me in two different ways. Like one to really just fully, fearlessly dive into your creativity as an artist, right? And like just go there. Even when it feels, when you get a little anxiety, just like really go there, right? And but you can make, I feel like we're all weird, you know what I mean? So that's normal, you know what I mean? Like people like, oh, we're all normal, and there's some people that's weird, but it's like, no, we're kind of all weird, you know, and that's why it's normal, you know what I'm saying? But like, we can make our weird sound beautiful. So that's what I got from Kanye. What I got from Ludacris was I mean, not that I didn't get lyricism from Kanye or whatever, but like I really got the lyricism, the cadence, the aggression, to also allow myself to like not just speak, you know, rap monotone and, you know, just kind of hold the same thing all the time or whatever, and really like allow myself to, sometimes I might be mad when I'm writing a song, and it's, even what I'm writing about is not necessarily the why I'm upset, but I can put that emotion in there and make it an even better song, right? But past that, I think I'm really soulful. I think a lot of what NC is soul, in my personal opinion. And I feel like a lot of who I am. Soul sampling, speaking from the heart, you know what I mean? And like I said earlier, I'm a real big fan of R&B, and jazz. I'm a fan of a lot of things that doesn't have rapping in it, and I try to take these things that I like from jazz, that I like from R&B, that I would like from like a country song or a pop song, and try to add it all into like hip hop and make it sound current and make it sound good and all that. What was the second question? Just like to say the end of it. Yes, I really hope that, because I feel like it's beginning with catch up, right? So I'll let you in on the long term idea for this. So the long term idea is to shoot a video. Okay, well, no, let me take a step back. So if you were out there earlier and the video wasn't playing, you might have heard music being played in the background. This music is coming from an EP that I'm about to release on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday. It's called A Minute In, and every song is a minute long. So it's 15 songs, 15 minutes, okay? Every song does not sound like the other one. It's its own unique thing. So the long-term goal is to shoot a video for every single one of these and to compile it all together for a year from now and have it all in one 15-minute video. For instance, the next video that we plan on shooting is Blade Walks In. I have a song called Blade Walks In, and we plan to recreate the opening scene where Blade literally walks in the film. I just got the okay from the principal of Hillside. He's gonna let me use the gym shower so we can rain blood. Oh, yes. So we're about to really take it there, right? So to go back to your question, like, I'm hoping that the impact is allow yourself to go there. Allow yourself to not be afraid of, I feel like we have so many great ideas, but because as like humans, we're caught up in perception and how we're perceived, and sometimes how we even perceive ourselves is skewed because of how others perceive us, right? We're just not allowing ourselves to be ourselves. You know what I mean? So hopefully when you watch Catch Up, you're like, oh, dang, okay. I haven't really seen something like this. Maybe I should do mustard, But I'm letting y'all know now. If y'all see somebody do mustard, y'all know where he got it from. Okay, so what I mean, don't give him too much props. No, I'm joking. But yeah, like, so hopefully you feel more you feel more accepted, right? I feel like, I don't know, it's a weird thing. It's kind of like, at least in music, because I can't speak to what Jay does, right, intimately, but like, I feel like with music, it starts off with what you like, right? You're making the type of music that you would like to listen to, right? The hope is, if you're pursuing it as a career, that there are other people who are like you around the planet that also like what you would like to listen to, and it keeps growing and keeps growing from there. And so I feel like my whole thing has just been, I'm a weird dude and I embrace it. So this is for like the weird people, you know what I mean? Which we all are, but yeah. Thank you. It's so, y'all made me feel so good when y'all clap, you know what I mean? It's like, I've never done this before. These are the pros here. I've never done anything like this before, so. Yeah. First timer. Um, so sitting here, because unfortunately I wasn't able to really get a good viewing of this because I was having my own technical issues out there, right? So I'm trying to make sure I got the video up and everything for you all. But I can say sitting here that honestly, it feels heartwarming when you meet someone else who gets it. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people pose and act like they get it, but they don't, you know, and you can kind of tell the more you interact with that person. And so it's really like heartwarming just to hear another person just being able to like relate and they get it, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, snap. And honestly, like, I'm just an appreciator of all forms of art. I will say that the one I have the highest respect for is comedy. I just feel like it takes a lot to make a random room of people who all have different sets of humors laughing at the same time at one joke. I think that's just crazy to me, right? But I appreciate all forms of art. And so I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Jade. I'm like, wow, like it's beautiful to know how deep it can get, you know, and knowing that we share similarities about like breaking out the norm. And it's like, because sometimes I feel like I'll be just talking on the soapbox in the middle of the BP parking lot. You feel me? Like nobody's listening to me because I really can get passionate about speaking about it. And like I said, sometimes people just, and it's not to fault the person who hears it, right? I feel like sometimes what we do, some of us, when we ascend to like another level of like clarity or success, we start looking down and casting people who don't get it, right, or don't look at it or haven't attained the same success, even though we're going through the same, quote unquote, we're not, but we're going through the same thing, right? It's it's just, I don't know, I don't know another word to say it, but I felt really enlightened sitting here. I felt really enlightened, and I felt like, you know, what's the point of living if you haven't learned at least one thing new? You know what I mean? Like, because it's all about knowledge, and knowledge of another person also adds to knowledge of self, right? So, like, when I'm listening to Jade, I'm getting a lot of knowledge, not only of what Jade does and everything that it entails, but, like, also reflecting in myself, too, so.
Word, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that we don't have the same audiences, and like we're having this conversation together. And I, was reflecting on that before I came, of just like, wow, this is gonna be nice to bring different communities together to hear where we actually really do intersect, like freedom and like really expressing yourself and like staking claim in who you are and what you're about. And so like I'm sitting here just really, really appreciative, and like I've I follow you on Instagram, so I've like seen you like through that, but like actually sitting here, I'm like, so most of what people post on Instagram is like, it's yeah, but like you are who you show yourself as, and I respect that. I really do, and I love it. And again, like like just sitting here being fascinated by you just being unapologetically yourself. Like, that's dope.
Thank you. And I also would like to say, I feel like you know, I feel like we're both like unapologetic with it. You know what I mean? Like as I'm sitting here listening to you, I feel like we both are. For me, it's just like I said earlier, I don't like compromising on like what I feel is true to myself, and so it's like I am the type of person. Sam's still out there, Samantha. Samantha see me like I'll be in any type of environment. I'm gonna talk how I talk. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really matter where we're at. You know, that's just how I speak. But it's like I feel like, but I'm also getting that from you too. You know what I mean? So I think that's a beautiful thing. Again, like it's just kindred spirits.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I missed the question. Respect. So I want to thank everyone for coming out, and I also want to thank both DeFacto and Jade for all of the things that you do, but more importantly for who you are. I think that time over time when we have artists here, what we end up leaving with is an affirmation, and so we know, Jade is out here advocating for us. We know that DeFacto is out here challenging us to be true to ourselves. And if we can reflect a little bit of what they have given to us, then we leave better for having been here together in community. So thank you all. And I also want to, before we disperse, please, please, please know that we are planning an extravaganza for Juneteenth on Friday, June the 16th. It will be here. It will be everything, and it will be where you want to be. So please mark that on your calendar. Follow us. I Am the Art Shows Me. Follow Hayti Heritage Center. Follow BeConnected Durham and beyond to keep updated on our events and when that's going to take place. Can you give us actually a way to follow you and get your album, DeFacto?
Yes. So as I stated before, Catch Up is a song single from my upcoming EP, A Minute In. 15 songs, 15 minutes. It will be out Tuesday. By tomorrow, around noon, I'll have my website back up. The website is talentisn'teverything.com. Talentisn'teverything.com. But if you want to find me on social media, because I have a complicated name, I mean, unless you can, well, y'all have the thing up so y'all can see how to spell it. But if you want to follow me on social media, I am at SCHNOZGOD. I say this word schnozy all the time, so schnoz God. But I did just release the catch-up video, so it is on my YouTube. I do have a YouTube with other beautiful music videos. It's on my Instagram, and it's on my Twitter. I put it on TikTok, but they took it down in like 2 minutes, so, oh well.
Where can we find you, Jade?
You can find me, Instagram is really the best place to start. I am at the Jade Wilson, TheJadWilson. That's my Cash App and my Venmo too, if y'all want to send me some love. Yeah, Instagram is where after I graduate and sleep, I'll probably be posting a lot more. So.
Thanks, y'all. Yeah, they'll get it.
Tell them put it in like this Wikipedia. If we wasn't friends, then why post the media? Niggas make it big and then they get greedier. Yeah, you working hard, but does it get easier? I'm putting on for the stat sheet. When the mothers perform, I say that's sweet. And my show ain't tonight, that was last week. Keller Picky, my clothes get the cash sheet. I get to say cause it wasn't enough. Speaking in the corner, Hillary Duff. Why you pursing lips at if and it show the people that we meeting, you literally suck. Stepping on the line when you get the bug. And I don't post online so niggas is judging. Hop in, we don't need a discussion. Hop on, we just skip introductions. I ain't your grandma, but sit on this plastic. You gon' make a mess if everything's get drastic. I don't see the enemies, I see the magic. I wrote a remedy, now I'm writing tragic. Icebox of Hennessy, she thinks I'm an addict. Got it. You may give me to ride it. I don't think that you bout it. Hear that think that you doubt it. Oh.
Started out with ketchup on my fries. Tight the plastic, son, no baby shower after she come right. Gotta pop up Ringo, but we hoping he don't die. Just all we want is money, set abundantly like athletes. Damn, boy, I gotta take it to the top of some mountains that niggas ain't reaching. You give me it. Family around me, but some of them doubting. I hate that I'm pouting. You see me here. Cooking some sauce that I ain't finished making. Some niggas be taking ingredients. Spicy and feisty, that's how I awaken. And now she be taking this deviant. That's me and that's an actor, this a movie. Actually, I am better than a movie. Can they catch me with Karuchi fat? No rapping different, that's a doozy. Started out with ketchup on my fries. Tight the plastic, son, no baby shower after she come right. Gotta pop up Ringo, pop.
This is not just a house. This was somebody's home. The family lived here. There was a life force here.
What we doing, what we ain't. We still rolling up the stain. You still trolling cause you can't. Making moves like red and blues and driving undercover on the interstate. And we do it for the state. And the homies who ain't phony got the brody who can shoot you, he on chase. Why it's me that they admiring? I ain't never felt inspiring. I ain't doing, I'm aspiring. Like a Madden, I was playing Tim, man. If you wonky, you can check the wiring. I don't get down with the Tito's, got down with my Migos, be big as the Beatles, but don't want the Beatles. Eccentric, possessive niggas making Cheetos and cheesing like I was sleeping with Doritos. My dog just died, now I'm acting like a Kino. The bitches one diamond sharing in casino with ass of they ego. 100 that. That shit 100, I comment that. Had to make moves to get under that. I'm on my humble rap. I was a nigga to be, but I bumbled that.
Hated myself, hated my call off. Hated myself, I had to log off. I'm a fiend, I had to raw dog for the wrong cause. Want my bitches black, all golf, but it's all lost.
I was just a kid in the candy store. Whatever this is, I cannot ignore. Will I make it big if I got one more?
Wait, no, Eureka! Have to stay silent or us, no each other. Have to acknowledge I'm no cohiba. Factor what's coming through, no urethra. Let's see ascended, explore the ether. Hear the call, it's paralyzing. I should pause, cause hell the flaws I'm analyzing. What am I? My own demise, I'm sterilizing. If it's right, then let it ride, and then I ride it down. How many days can I? How many?
Shot the step. Hey, I know. I said,
How many days can I stage the devotion of me?
Hey, Raheem, I want.
How many?
shot the step. Go ahead and take a deep breath for a few minutes.
I got a minute, my time in immaculate. Homie got shotty, I asked if he packing it. This ain't a body, I asked why you tapping it. We only smoking that accurate rap cause it called to me. This ain't Sean Connery, finding the forest with writing and honoring. Right is the greatest, if not, why you bothering? I gotta make it, if not, I'm just slaughtering. Without a purpose, I do a versus against anybody and then see that's working. I got some men in my cup while she twerking. I got a homie that acting Persian. I ain't a virgin, but I won't give a fuck if you were lurking. I'm off my top like I drop into a little bit of a version. Writing my name out and then check the letter and straddle my middle, her writing and centering, entering different occasions. I brought my dog and we think about meddling. After I beat a sing, I gotta lead him in. I got a girl that I'm thinking about getting back with, but the question is, will I go cheat again? I got some problems to beat again. Karma.
I know. I said I was on the way like an hour ago and shit. You know what I'm saying? I really was, you know what I mean? But you know when they ain't got no car, you feel me? I had to make sure I hit the gas and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I just need you to take it easy with me. Take it easy with me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. I'm coming to get you.
I don't believe when I see it. I don't believe shit you got to say. I've been sitting here for an hour. What you think I'm doing? Counting the fucking minutes on the clock? I'm not, nigga. I don't need you. That's what you think this is?
I've been on my way. How come when you need somebody, they not in your face? If I come and reconstruct, will she still remain in that space you need more? She put me in place to erase anxiety. Yes, it leaves a trace. I don't like sobriety, a peppermint taste. Can I still get intimate with you?
Soapy. Yeah, got it. Why don't you admit it? I've been on my body, navigating through my spirit. I've been rolling. I was chosen, feeling hella open, but don't gotta like give it. I received my
prize, but don't leave my guys. I can see my pride slow eating my vibe. If you in disguise, you wearing disguise. I can see your eyes revealing your lies. Don't get violent, this your island. This ain't man, it's lyrical, I'm only vibing. You can check the balance, made my name through jokes with Cayenne. That's cause family matters, I've been winning slow and silent. Soapy.
Take my time on this. All right.
Rare fact, I'm about to blow up like an Air Max. Where's that gentleman who say he carry care pack? Air back, if it ain't the loudest, we don't hear that. Hair back, when she scream my name, I make her stare back. Whole life I was embodying what I saw on screens. Whole mics, that's when I'm bodying the opposing team. For the corona, I pour corona for my esteem. Making my head ache, like being full of lies. Keeping my ignorance hip, that's how we monetize. Heart burning, with my lyrics I tend to cauterize as soon as I showed up my other side. Yes. Lost in a haze of emotions. How many days can I stage the devotion of being just a friend? I was pinned to the motions. Lady, don't forget me. For the record, I said fuck a record, here's a symphony. You deserve it all. Every day that I was playing, you deserve the pause. Your new nigga, if he staying, he deserved the pause. Doggone shame, cause I really love them draws. Whole lack thereof. My favorite pastime was your pussy saying batter up. Like J. Cole, I think you worth the climb, I think I'll take the ladder up. But I'm saying never mind. Britney Spears, well, I ain't Kevin Federline. Other guys, federalize. I just had to step aside. Know it make my heart hurt, but I gotta bury pride.
I do.
But I gotta bury pride.
You know. Schnozzy. Facts. I realize it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Unless somebody.
Bad time has passed as I had mine. In the grocery store with the register, but then add lines. Is he dying? Not really that, but I had signs that I should love another mama, no kids, but can have mine. All over her brown philosophy, can I learn you on top of me? Feel the business of me and you interloping by women jocking me. Let's slide into it easier fitted. Search your discography, and there's a finer records that I like. Finding it's a different kind of night. I got to try. Sliding off a night wearing panties, but there's a problem. Ended up only just smelling the pussy. Ain't have a condom, nigga. Dang. I've been getting worked up, baby.
Hey, Raheem, I want to do ad-libs on your next album, and here I go. I'm going to make you number one. The chart's going to go up to number one. I'm going to make you real, real famous. You ready? Boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom, 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 shakalaka, boom, shakalaka. And then next one, she bang, boom, yeah, she bang, yeah, she bang, 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 she bang, 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 bam. There you go.
Facts stay diligent, even though the weed keep me fly, but I land like Gilligan. Anti-militant or anti-villain, there's no landline, so I land mine real different. But yeah, what do they know? I just went a hot in Guatemala, so when I pass Cal, I'm Pedro. My style is fatal. One eye like ain't no red, cause it stays open. The eye tornado, getting hype, but I stay calm. My green sticky like some lip balm. I don't read palms, but I need Tommy Shepard like I read Psalms. Above the rim, please don't say you read wrong. Running like the Flintstones. Necromancer, yeah, I get stoned. Yeah, please don't sit on this throne. We would never hit phones. You ain't this grown, nigga.
Schnozzy. We're just gonna get straight into it. Let's go.
I've been in the rap since I wasn't 2 feet up. I ain't want a Renita quick, but I wanted a diva. If she wanted to be my bitch, no, she ain't a retriever. R.I.P. to my dog, Sasha ain't wanted to leave her. This is fast living, no ass kissing. I'm mad driven, hit the gas, spitting more focus on ad living while showing my transition. Then bring the blessings forth. They ain't a stick like a stegosaur. Engine scores, Hans the Zimmer, man, we not sketching gore. Bodies dropping, if they drink the sponsor, there's probably more than the average body count. You know that we make the morgue, make it's money. We don't think it's funny, they take it score. I can dig it. And when we visit funerals, it's cubicles to hold the body space while the dirt go under the cuticles. Start the body trace, but the fact though it's not the usual. Her insecurities got her questioning if she's suitable. How many days can I stage the devotion of being just a friend? I was pinned to the motions. Lady, don't forget me. For the record, I said fuck a record, here's a symphony. You deserve it all. Every day that I was playing, you deserve the pause. Your new nigga, if he's staying, he deserved the pause. Doggone shame, cause I really love them draws. Whole lack thereof. My favorite pastime was your pussy saying batter up. Like J. Cole, I think you worth the climb. I think I'll take the ladder up. But I'm saying never mind. Britney Spears, well, I ain't Kevin Federline. Other guys, Federer lies. I just had to step aside. Know it make my heart hurt, but I gotta bury pride. I do. But I gotta bury pride. I do. You know. Schnozzy. Facts. Yeah. I'm gonna take my time on this. Alright. Rare fact, I'm about to blow up like an Air Max. Where's that gentleman who say he carry care pack? Air back, if it ain't the loudest, we don't hear that. Hair back, when she scream my name, I make her stare back. Whole life I was embodying what I saw on screens. Whole mics, that's when I'm bodying the opposing team. For the corona, I pour corona for my esteem. Making my head ache, like being full of lies. Keeping my ignorance hip, that's how we monetize. Heart burning with my lyrics, I tend to cauterize as soon as I showed her my other side. Lost in a haze of emotions. I realize it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Unless I'm Bad time has passed as I had mine. In the grocery store with the register, but then add lines. Is he dying? Not really that, but I had signs that I should love another mama, no kids, but can have mine. All over her brown philosophy, can I learn you on top of me? Feel the business of me and you interloping by women jocking me. Let's slide into it easier fitted. Search your discography, and there's a finer records that I like. Finding it's a different kind of night. I got to try. Sliding off at night wearing panties, but there's a problem. Ended up only just smelling the pussy. Ain't have a condom, nigga. Dang.